qualification match number 19, drivers behind the lines. 3, 2, 1, go!
And here we go in autonomous mode. All the robots on the blue lines were able to leave off. We got 2 robots on the red alliance leaving and trying to get some of their corals in. 2935 kind of suspended there, waiting to get that coral in. Hopefully we can get that coral in during teleop, but we'll just find out. And they're able to successfully get that coral in, as all the teams are starting to drive around in their robots. 188 grabbing that algae almost immediately and putting it into the barge, and they just missed. 9906 trying to get the algae off the coral. We'll see if they're successful or not. 188 got to get that algae, and they're able to get a coral on their robot as well as they go and put the algae into the barge. This time they were successful. 9908 try to get that coral into the L1 there as they knock another L1 coral, but they were unsuccessful in getting that coral in. 188 trying to get that algae into the barge. They were successful that third time there. 2935 over on the red alliance is working their way onto the coral reef as they get more corals into the L4. 2702 trying to grab a coral from the floor, trying to shift all the corals off so they can get a coral into the robot, as 2935 trying to get a coral into the robot. 9906 trying to play some D over here over on the red alliance, hoping that they can prevent the other alliance from getting some corals into the coral reef. 2935 trying their best to get a coral into the L4, and they're successful. 9906 over on the blue lines were able to do that in the L1. 188 going really quickly as they try to fill up their coral reef over into the L4, and they just missed that one coral there, hoping they can get another one in their next cycle. 9906 was able to grab a coral off the human player station. 188 trying one more time, and they missed again. We'll see what happens. 9906 are trying to play some D here, trying to block their opposing team from getting some corals into their robots so they can fill up the reef here. 2935 trying their best to get a coral into the L4, and seemed that they just got stuck there a little bit. We'll see what if they can get themselves unstuck, and they were able to successfully get unstuck from the reef. 9908 trying to get a coral in there, and they just were successful. 188 following suit, filling up that L4. We're in our last 20 seconds of the match here. We'll see what teams are doing. Some last minute corals here. 7902 trying to get one in, they were successful. 188 trying to get a last coral into the reef, and they were unsuccessful. However, they're running over and trying to see if they can get some hangs in there if they can. 2702 trying to get that hang. We'll see what happens there as the match just ends. The unofficial score is 100 to red, 96 to blue. Please stay tuned. Have our official score now. Please give it up to the Red Alliance as they take this victory. 114 to 112. A 2-point difference is a very, very close call. Blue Alliance were able to successfully get their leads over the Red Alliance. However,